like to welcome everybody to the November meeting of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order. As always, we'll start our meeting with the prayer and pledge of allegiance, and Mr. Eddie Miller is going to lead us in that.
Stand and pray, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your many blessings. We ask that you help us make good decisions today. We pray that there'll be peace on earth and goodwill to all. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Eddie. Next item is the consideration of approval for the minutes from our September meeting. Earlier in the week, everybody got their packets for today's meeting, and that contained those minutes. Give everybody a second to look at it, and let us know if any changes or corrections, and if none, motion for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. So we've got a big crowd today for a Parks and Rec meeting, and we've got some very special guests. Mayor Bragg, thank you for being here. Dennis Ranier, he must have known it was a long agenda today, so he decided to come and sit down. Dennis, we'll have a 2-hour meeting in your honor.
Lock the doors.
Lock the doors. First item under new business, we've got a lot of plaques and awards up here that folks, our department and folks in our department have earned, and we'd like to recognize them today. Lanny?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, at our annual conference for the Tennessee Recreation and Parks Association, which was held in Kingsport this year, we were honored by picking up 11 different awards. And Mayor Bragg is here with us today, and he is going to present those awards for us. But we're very proud of the staff and their accomplishments, and you can see that we're generally envied at the conference because we carry off a lot of the hardware. But very pleased with picking up 11 awards. So, Mayor Bragg, you can come forward.
Thank you, Lanny, and Mr. Chairman, and Commission members and council members of the Parks and Recreation Commission. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and it's a proud day indeed because, as you have heard, we have won a significant number of Tennessee Recreation Parks and Association awards, and those are all in what we call Category 1, which are those are cities that have populations in excess of 100,000, and I think this is a significant mark because, as you know, there's only 6 cities in Tennessee that have populations in excess of 100,000, and certainly we're proud to be one of them. I was pleased again to note that several of these are repeats, and so it's important, I think, to recognize continued excellence, and I'm certainly happy to be able to do that today. These 4-star awards for marketing recognizes the department by population category for having the best marketing plan and for disseminating information in that service area. The Parks and Rec department was recognized for its website being the best marketing campaign in the state, and the one who takes responsibility for that and the one that we're going to recognize is Jenny Brinkman. So Jenny, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for making a difference in our Parks and Recreation Department. And I understand you're leaving, is that correct?
I am.
What, you know, all leaves are canceled while I'm mayor. And just wanted to make sure you knew that, okay? But, no, we're very proud of you, and certainly you're going to be well-trained, and I think you'll have a great opportunity ahead of you, and we're very proud for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We did also win the Volunteer Service Award that recognizes the individual or organization that's made a significant contribution to Parks and Recreation and Leisure Services by performing volunteer services, and that person who has been selected to win that is not here today, so we will make that presentation at another time. Under Special Events, Arts, and Marketing Awards, we have these awards which are the main focus to recognize innovation and creativity in special events, arts, and marketing, and inspire others to develop similar programs in their own area. You must be aware that there's plenty of competition among Parks and Recreation to be the best in every way. And these Special Events, Arts, and Marketing Awards kind of recognize those efforts, that competitive spirit that makes Parks and Recreation in our community so important. The department was awarded for having the best marketing campaign recognizing Parks and Recreation website, and again, that's Jenny Brinkman. So Jenny, come on back. Yeah. Now remember, you got to keep Murfreesboro in mind when you go on to bigger and better things, right? Now, but you always come back to Murfreesboro when you get successful again.
I will.
Okay, remember that. Okay.
Thank you.
Good, good. The department was also awarded for the best arts-related special event recognizing the Borough Blues Fest, and our own Terry Womack won that award. Congratulations, Terry. Now, Terry, you can just stand right up here because there's a couple of other things that you were fortunate enough to win, even though there was great competition. But you did it anyway. The department was awarded for the best art program, recognizing the program Arts in the Park, and that also goes to Terry. And finally, but not last, the department was awarded the best theater program, recognizing the Sunshine Players production of Snow White. And this was Terry's 20th anniversary show? 20 years. I did not realize you were that old. Amazing. Congratulations, Terry. Thank you for your hard work. And the Donald H. Stanton Award is presented to the Community Center, determined to have the best overall statewide community center program. And for the 4th year in a row, the Patterson Park Community Center was awarded this Donald H. Stanton Award for its outstanding program offered to the citizens of Murfreesboro. Tom Sage could not be with us today, but if you go out to Patterson Center, you can find him. And Becky Johnson is here, who also won that award with Tom, and she's going to accept the award for both of them. Becky? Thank you, Becky. All right, now we have the Award for Excellence, which is presented by Resource Management to an individual, agency, or organization, public or private, that has demonstrated outstanding achievement in the field of resource management. As many of you know, we have a number of parks. A lot of people, including the Vice Mayor and Mr. McFarland, always mention the fact that Murfreesboro is a park that includes a city, and so we appreciate that. And this year, the Award of Excellence was given to the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department for the Wandering Waters Camp, which was recognized as the best environmental program in the state. And the camp was conducted by Rachel Singer, who is here to accept the award. Rachel? We're proud for you, Rachel, and thanks again for doing that. We also now have the Maynard Glenn Award, which is given annually to the Municipal County Interest Section to recognize personnel who have planned, conducted, or were responsible for the most outstanding recreation program during the year. This is a significant award, and this year's recipient is Marlene Sewell for her outstanding contributions and the outstanding programs she planned and conducted for our Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department. Congratulations, Marlene. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the Maynard Glenn Award, so we're very proud of Marlene for doing that for us. We also have the Ethnic Minority Interest section, and Jenny Brinkman was presented with this appreciation award for her time, dedication, and leadership to the Ethnic Minority Interest section. Jenny, congratulations again. Okay. Thank you, Jenny, again for what you've done, and you need to come back to work with us. And the President's Cup is awarded by population category to the department that most overall reflects the professional standards set by the Tennessee Recreation and Parks Association. It's for contributions made to the state and to the National Association for Recreation and Parks. Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation was the recipient of the President's Award for the Category 1, population 100,000 and more. Lanny, come and accept your award on behalf of all your employees and the President's Award. Well done. I think we can see why Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation won the President's Award. I think it's pretty obvious. So you commission members can take heart that your actions are important to our community and that they make a difference, and we depend on you, and we thank you for your service and for what you do. I also would like to, in closing, recognize the 15th Annual Ruthie's Award, sponsored by the Murfreesboro Daily News Journal. And there were several categories in which our Parks and Recreation Department excelled. We were a finalist in the Favorite Place to Walk and Jog, Barfield Crescent Park, a finalist in Favorite Place to Take the Kids, the Murfreesboro Greenway System, a finalist in Favorite Place to Take the Dog, our Bark Park, a finalist in the Favorite Place to Swim, our Patterson Park Community Center, and we won first place in the Ruthies in the Favorite Place to Walk Jog, the Murfreesboro Greenway System, and first place in Favorite Place to Swim, SportsCom. So congratulations again to all of you, to all our winners. Thank you to all our folks who work together with the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department. Thank you.
Mayor Bragg, thank you for being here to present those. We say all the time we've got the best department in the state and arguably one of the best in the country, and it's because of you guys. I mean, it's our department is like any business or company. It's only as good as the people, and you guys make the difference, and you're the reason we're the best, so we appreciate it. Dennis, Chris just leaned over and said it was ironic that we garnered all these awards immediately following your retirement. We're not, we're not completely sure that those are tied, but together. But just recognizing the fact. We're going to move on to our next item under new business, which is a report on the 2009 half marathon. Melinda.
Hello. I'm really excited to be here today. We had an awesome event. It was very exciting, and I think a lot of that had to do with the weather. We were very fortunate this year. It had rained for about 20 years, and then the day of the race, it was beautiful. It was gorgeous, and then the next day it rained again. So I don't know what we're doing right, but we were very, very glad to have a beautiful day. I've got some numbers for you. We had 2,000 who registered for the half marathon. Of the 1,583 who started, 1,565 finished. Of those, 835 were female, 730 were male. We had 2 wheelchair finishers this year, and incidentally, they were engaged to be married, I believe, this month. We had 2 state records broken at the event. The age of our youngest finisher was 14. The age of our oldest runner was 80. The time of the fastest runner was 1 hour, 7 minutes, 27 seconds, and that was a 5:09 pace. The time of our slowest participant was 4 hours, 4 minutes, and 8 seconds, and that's an 18:39 pace. The time of, well, every year we give an award to the person who finishes in the middle because we are the middle half. And that's one thing that makes us a little unique. And the time of the middle half winner was 2 hours and 12 minutes. We had 105 kids who registered for the fun run. The temperature at 7 o'clock was 50 degrees, which was about 10 degrees cooler than last year. And the finish at 10:30, it was 78 degrees, which was about 15 degrees cooler. And the runners really liked that. We had over 380 volunteers that worked on this event, both prior to and the day of. We gave away $3,400 in prize money, and over $24,000 was raised by our charity partners, Special Kids on the Fifth Day and the MTMC Foundation. And we've also given away so far $7,300 to some of the organizations that helped us out on the day of the race. The Rotary Club, the Noon Exchange Club, Kalpa Alpha, the Central Middle School Band Boosters, Discovery Center, and the School Resource Center. And we really want to thank you for helping us put on this race. And at this time, Lanny, I've got plaques too, if you could come up. This is just a little token of our appreciation, and I think this is a great sponsorship, a great partnership, the Half Marathon and the Parks and Rec Department. I think together we put on an awesome event. Thank you so much. It's a great recognition. And also, Mayor, would you mind coming up? And this also is just a very small token of our appreciation. Without the police department, the sanitation department, they come out and they clean the streets the day before the race so the runners have a nice course to run on. Everything that the city does is just awesome. And so many runners really love the fact that they can run on such a beautiful, beautiful course. Not all courses will allow you to run through a city. It's through a park or things like that. But to shut down a city for a few hours on a Saturday morning, thank you very much
You're
for that.
welcome. Thanks, Lynn, so much for your And I still have a little hearing loss in this ear from firing the starter pistol.
Yes, the mayor had a gun that day. Watch out. Some of our other gold sponsors, Fleet Feet Sports, MTSU, and State Farm, they were huge help. Our media sponsors, WGNS, the Daily News Journal, and by the way, we also won Favorite Event in the recent Ruthie Awards, so we were very happy about that. The Murfreesboro Post and the Murfreesboro Magazine, they were all instrumental in helping us get the word out. And we had so much help from different groups in the community. I think this wasn't just an event for the runners. It was for lots of other groups to come together and just be a part of something exciting. So thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions about the event, or does anybody want to sign up now for next year's?
Chris? Melinda, thanks. I mean, you guys, it's a fantastic event. Thanks to you and your whole group to put it on. It's truly a fantastic event for our city.
Well, thank you for believing in us from the start, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Melinda. Next item under new business is just a review and consideration of our annual holiday special that we do at Sportscom in Patterson, and I believe Bart's going to review that quickly for us.
That's correct.
Mr. Chairman and Commission members, I have a few items on the agenda today. The first one is our annual buy one, get one free passes for our yearly and monthly passes. And what I'm asking your consideration today is approve this pass. As you can see in your revenues from the last 3 years that it's gone up every year, and it's a big seller for us. We have people asking about it in February or March, when we're going to do it, and we tell them, well, it'll be approved through the commission, and hopefully we'll start it, if approved, we'll start it in December right on the 14th, and we'll run it through the end of the year. We came up with a couple of items that make this a special thing for our customers. And I want to thank Tommy Gregory for compiling all the stats and the helping we combine the revenues. But one thing, it keeps our current customers there. Once they buy this pass, and it's either a year or a 12-month, they're in for 2 years. So that keeps them coming back. It also helps bring in new customers. When they spread the word to their friends or relatives or whatever, it'll bring some more customers into our facility. And like I said, as you can see, it has increased our revenue for the past 3 years during December and January. Also in your package, you receive the 25% discount, which we run through in January. So that's another good incentive to come in after the new year and start your new fitness program after all the meals and everything, holiday celebrations. So at this time, I'm just seeking your approval on the holiday special. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer. One thing we have put in this year, we are limited to buy 1 year, get one free, or buy 12 months, get 12 months free. And I think Mr. Goodwin will explain the reason for this
Yes,
decision.
Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, as you know, we're going to be going through a renovation of the pools, and I'm going to go over that in just a few minutes, but we'll be changing the outdoor pool to a water park. And there'll probably be some pricing different considerations that we'll need to look at. And so in that vein, what we talked about staff-wise is to go ahead at this special and let folks buy actually 2 years. They can buy 1 year and get 1 year free, but not to extend it beyond that, to give us an opportunity to look at what we need to do for fees for the outdoor pool.
Okay. Any questions or comments regarding this for Bart? There are none. We need a motion for acceptance of the special as presented.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Comments, questions? Being none, stands approved. Bart, thanks. You got the next item as well. I believe it's a holiday lock-in at SportsCom.
Okay, we've planned a holiday lock-in at SportsCom with your approval, and we want to have it December the 18th and run through the morning of December the 19th. And what this is, it'll be for kids ages 8 through 15. We will take pre-registration at 6:30 that Friday night, and they will stay all night, starting at 7 o'clock with the program, and go to 7 a.m. The next morning. We had a lock-in back in April. We roughly had around 40 kids. It was a big success. Again, I do have a lot of kids that do ask about it. Once one's over, they'll ask again. It gets kind of rough on some of us older employees like myself, staying up all night, but myself, Nate Williams, and Thomas Laird will be available. We'll have roughly 8 to 10 employees there with the children. The parents will come in. It will be a $20 fee. We'll have swimming, games, a Wii tournament, basketball, dodgeball, floor hockey, and I believe around 4 or 4:30 in the morning everybody starts to play out, including myself. But it's a great thing. The kids really get excited, especially in the early part of the program. They're excited swimming and having fun and stuff. And this will give the parents to get out and do some last-minute shopping or activities during the Christmas season. And I know Mr. Rainier's here today. I want to personally ask him to come help us all night with this activity. He'd be glad to, I'm sure. But like I said, it's a big event. We hopefully have 2 or 3 a year, and I'm seeking your approval on this holiday lock-in.
Any questions on this?
Mr. Chairman, is this what the fee was last year?
No, the fee has gone up. We found out that the fee was a little short last year. We found out the individual pieces, we priced those are $5, plus they get a T-shirt, plus we'll have employees there all night. It has gone up. It was $10 last year.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Good question. Any others?
What kind of participation did you have last year?
We had roughly around 40 kids. I think Mr. Miller's...
My son
Okay.
attended last year and had a blast. as a parent, I was wondering if you keep them all weekend.
For $20.
Mr. Goodman said
$20.
no comp time, so.
We'll pay more.
Well, we need a motion for acceptance of this.
I so move.
Second.
I second it, Mr. Chairman.
And Chris pointed out I breezed right through the vote on the previous one, so we're actually going to vote for the previous item and this one since we have a motion and a second for both. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Bart, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5 is a consideration of individual swimming lessons, and I believe Nate's going to go over this with us.
Yes, good afternoon. Good to see you guys, all of you again. What we're proposing is doing something that has been a demand by the public in recent years. As long as I've been in aquatics, people ask for individual swim lessons. That would be one-on-one swim lessons. In the past, we've had some scheduling conflicts and just some logistical issues that haven't allowed us to do this. Now we feel like we're at a time where we can do that and offer these to the public. So what I'm proposing is that starting January 1st, we start offering an individual swim lesson for people who would like that one-on-one attention with their kids. What I'm proposing is that we start off with our swim academy ages 5 to 12, and then adults. Optimally, there's going to be 6 classes, 6 45-minute lessons that will cost $90. The scheduling will go through myself or Nikki, the assistant, and we'll schedule those. Hopefully, either her or I will be able to teach those lessons ourselves. We'd like for these lessons to last 2 weeks, go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, sometime in the afternoon. Like I said, 6 45-minute lessons for $90. If this program is a success, we will use the same pilot program implemented at Patterson for the younger kids, the swim preschool ages 6 months to 4 years. I think it would be a good revenue producer, and as well as something that, again, the public has asked for years, and we're finally at a point to offer these to the public. I've gotten a lot of good feedback. Some of the patrons I've spoken with, I think we have a good segment of our community that would be willing to spend just a little bit more for that one-on-one attention. But what I'm proposing again today, we're going to do 6 45-minute lessons for $90. The scheduling will come in through us. When we do this, we'll be able to, go with people's schedules maybe earlier in the morning. We can kind of critique the times that we have the lessons. So again, 6 45-minute lessons for $90. That works out to $20 an hour. So that's what I'm proposing. We'll be happy to, answer any questions you might have about this, any concerns you may have. So I'll take any questions you have.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Nate regarding the program? Being none, we need a motion for acceptance of the program as presented.
Move for approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nate? Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Sounds
sir.
like a great program. Item 6 is a proposed dance instruction program at Patterson, and you're not Chad.
No, I'm not Chad. Sorry, my name is Jane Ogg, and I'm the part-time fitness and wellness coordinator over at Patterson Park. I'd like to start a dance program for our community where for ages 8 to 17, where the students will learn the essentials of ballet, jazz, and hip-hop. I would like to offer an affordable program, offer them quality dance school instruction, but at a fraction of the cost. Area dance schools charge about $40 to $50 a month for a once-a-week class. I'd like to charge $25 a month, and that will offset the cost of costumes, the instructor's salary, T-shirts and trophies, and also there won't be a registration fee, there won't be recital fees, and there won't be additional costume fees that you would find at area dance schools.
Okay. Any questions? Yeah, Tim?
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Ogg, I noticed that the Wednesday structure is 3:15 to 4 for the ages 8 to 12.
We've pushed it back a little bit to 3:30 to 4:15.
There's still some other schools that don't get out until 3:30, and might want to consider pushing it back a little bit to accommodate that.
Okay. What I would like to see happen is start with this class, and as word gets out about the program will grow nice and big and strong, that we'll be able to offer more than just one class per age group. And the age groups are 8 to 12, and 13 to 17, and it will be age-appropriate choreography, costumes, and music.
Thank you.
Mr. Tips, what we'll do, since this is a new program, we'll monitor and see what the numbers and see what the feedback is. And if we need to adjust those hours, we'll do so.
Okay.
Okay?
Any other questions for Jane? If there are none, we need a motion for acceptance of the program.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Jane, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 7 is consideration of a swim-a-thon at Patterson.
Hello. Okay, I'm here to propose that Patterson Park has its first ever swim-a-thon. It's going to be a timed mile swim, which is 33 laps in our pool, and we're going to have a staggered start based on what time, or they're going to tell us their predicted finishing time, and then we're going to place them in the right starting category. And we're going to encourage participants 14 and above to join us. There's going to be awards given in the top 2 female and top 2 male finishers, and then medals for everyone. What we're proposing is a $20 fee for all of this. That will offset our costs of the authentic swim-a-thon T-shirt, trophies for the top finishers, and medals for all participants.
All right. Any questions for Nikki?
And this is a new event. I don't remember this, so.
Yes,
is that
it is
correct?
new.
It is.
But we're hoping it does very well, and we can have it again and again.
If there are no questions, we need a motion for approval of the swim-a-thon.
Move for its approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nikki, thanks.
Thank you all.
Item 7 under new business. I believe Rachel's going to come up and tell us about a proposed homeschool program.
Hi, how are you guys?
Great, how are you?
Good. I would like to propose adding a new homeschool program for this winter called Engaging Students in Conservation. The curriculum is actually developed by an environmental program called Facing the Future. I'd like to run it as a 4-week series in February. Through this series, students will be encouraged to explore a variety of topics and activities related to human-wildlife conflicts. The participants will look at threats to the survival of keystone species and understand the pressures facing wildlife around the world. The proposed dates are the 4 Fridays in February from 10 until noon with a fee of $20. Thanks for your consideration.
Anybody have any questions for Rachel on the homeschool program?
Mr. Chair, if I may just interject something here. We have found that we draw a lot of homeschoolers, and one of the things that the staff has really done is talk to a lot of the homeschool parents and found out what they need in terms of matching curriculum and educational needs. And so we have mirrored, just like this program, some of our programs, and we have wonderful participation in many of our programs from the homeschoolers just because of the staff, just like Rachel, taking the extra effort to find out what is needed for the homeschool curriculum and matching those and providing that need. So I just want to update the commission on that and commend the staff for going that extra step.
Great. If there are no questions, we need a motion for approval of the proposed homeschool program.
I so move.
Kelsey, second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approved. Rachel, thanks. Great
you.
program.
Thanks.
Rachel's doing the next one too, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Rachel, you're up. Santa's
right.
pets and photos.
Yes, we want to propose a photo shoot with Santa and your pet. It'd be at the Wilderness Station. As you guys know, a lot of people use the Wilderness Station to walk their dogs, and there's just a lot of pet lovers out there. So for the holiday seasons, we'd like to propose where they could bring their pet in on a couple of dates in December and have a nice photo shoot with Santa or a holiday background. depending on, what they would prefer. The dates would be December 10th from 10 to noon or 2 to 4, December 11th, 2 to 4 or 6 to 8, and Saturday, December 12th, 10 to noon. The fees would be, you could bring your own camera, and it would be a $3 charge, or the staff could take your picture with a department camera for $5, and we could email that to them.
Great. Does anybody have any questions for Rachel regarding this?
What dates did she say?
The dates are December 10th, December 11th, and December 12th.
If there are no other questions, we need a motion for approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. It's, with all these new programs, I smell more hardware coming our way.
We hope so.
We're going to need a bigger truck next year, that's right.
May have to take a van next year. Well, actually, it's here next year. We're actually hosting the Tennessee Recreation Parks Association Conference here in Murfreesboro next September.
When did we do that, about 3 years ago?
It was in 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, Lanny, you're up. We're going to give us an update on the pool
Yes,
renovation.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this is an exciting time, I think, for the city and for the commission and council, because we are moving forward with the renovation of our indoor and outdoor pool. At the October 22nd council meeting, there was a contract approved with Johnson & Bailey for the architectural and engineering services for the renovation of both the indoor and outdoor pool. Just wanted to go through a couple of things with you and for the general public. Generally speaking, the lifespan of a pool is around 15 to 20 years. Of course, most of you know Sportscom was opened in 1987. That would make that pool 22 years old. For the last several years, we have been battling an uphill battle, so to speak, to try to keep that pool open for the general public. But it's gotten tougher and it's gotten tougher. I know that last year we had to do some significant work to the filtration system just to get it through this season. It's in very poor condition. The outdoor pool's in very poor condition. It needs a lot of renovation. The filtration system, like I mentioned, is failing. The decks are cracking. The decks are sinking. If you go, you can see where the actual pool is and where the decks have sunk. And we've tried to fill that in over the years, but it's just becoming to a point to where we have to do something. That's a painted pool. And every year we would paint the pool or go in and do some types of renovation. But it's gotten to the point that there's so much paint on there that you've got to go in and sandblast it or do something to take that paint off, because what it does is you can put a coat of paint over it and then it just peels off or chips off, which becomes somewhat of a safety hazard for the people that are trying to swim. The equipment, such as the lifeguard stands, the diving boards, etc., has just over the years has run their course. So what we're proposing is to do renovations to the outdoor pool, but really kind of make a whole programmatic switch and come up to industry standards. And industry standards now for about the last 10 years, as people have renovated these types of pools, have developed what they call outdoor water parks. And they've put different features in those outdoor water parks. One of the things that they have found by doing this is that they attract a broader audience. They are much more suitable for families and for any age family. And plus, the return on investment is much greater because you can realize a higher degree of revenue because generally you can charge a little more for that cost. And what Councilman Hunsaker, which is going to be our pool consultant that will work with Johnson & Bailey has told us that we can realize an increase in participants and revenue that would be somewhere around 30 to 50% above what we normally have. What I want to do, if I can just move over here, I want to go through some of the elements that will be in that renovation of the outdoor pool. Is this working? Okay. Just to orientate you here, this is Memorial Boulevard. The front of Sportscom here, this would be the Jarnett Lane at the top. And if you look, I included a small drawing in your packet. If you look, this would be the basic outline right here of the existing outdoor pool. What we're proposing is to use the shell. There's some benefit for doing that, cost savings wise. And so what we're proposing is to, at the side that would face Memorial Boulevard, to put in an 8-lane lap pool here. Then we would develop a diving well. This is a drop slide. I don't know how many's been on a drop slide, but you climb up in the drop slide and it kind of eases you out, and then it just drops about 4 to 5 feet, which is pretty exhilarating. And then we'll have another board here. The little obstacle that you see at this point is a climbing wall. The climbing wall will go 8 to 10 feet high and will angle back over the pool. And you'll actually be able to walk over to the climbing wall on the deck here. There are 2 slides. One is open and one is closed. It goes into a slide pool with steps to come out. And then we've created what we call kind of the play area in here, where you see a lot of children just really having a lot of fun in the water. And from that point, what we put in is a volleyball net here. These are called candy canes, which are just high spray obstacles that will spray water down on the children. This is a walking obstacle that's pretty difficult to walk across. And then there's 2 basketball courts. You move from that into the zero depth area. If you've been to Patterson, you know how the Patterson pool has a zero depth area. And it has a playground right here in this particular area. Then we move over to a spray ground, not a playground. It's a water playground. It has a lot of features. The water goes right into the deck. There's no standing water underneath, but there'll be a spray ground here. We're also talking about, in this design, of doing a little creative wave on the deck, having an area for sunbathers, and then in this corner over here, which is not shown on the drawing, putting in some kind of a cabana or shelter that would allow people to have pool parties. One of the things that we have found, that pool parties are very big around the swimming pool, but the problem is there is no place for them to have presents, cake, ice cream, those kind of things. So we would create additional charge for that, but we would have a place for those pool parties as well. We'll be looking at creating a little better entrance, but we'll have our snack area up in this portion. And we think this is really going to be a great addition to our department. I'll be glad to answer any questions about that portion of the renovation.
Anybody have any questions for Lanny?
I have one. I can see where this is very family-friendly, and I can see the increased participation. Is there enough parking to allow for this?
Mr. Roediger, that's a good question. That's one of the things that we talked about in our preliminary design. We do have some parking out here, and we know that, generally speaking, during the operational times of this pool, some of this is vacant. So instead of building additional parking at this time, what we thought we would do is try to operate this for one season, see what the demands of parking is. If we have sufficient parking at both ends, then we would not have to add any. If there are need for parking, then we would come back before the next season, and we talked about expanding into this particular area right here.
Well, couldn't you overflow in McKnight Park anyway, if that became an issue, or is that just too far?
You could, and it's not that far of a walk, but
so.
again, cost-wise, we think it's probably more prudent to try it for 1 year. Let's see what we've got. Let's see how many people are parking on the islands or those kind of things, or having to park at McKnight, and then let's address that issue at that time.
Mr. Chairman, what is the estimated cost to do this project?
It's around $2.8 million. The architectural engineering fees will be just a little over $200,000, so you're running just a touch over $3 million. And the indoor pool is included in that cost estimate that I just gave you.
One other thing, some places I've been, they have kind of the lazy river float. Did y'all explore that option and the cost?
We did. And we looked at it. Matter of fact, we looked at 4 different options when we looked at the design. And in this area right here, we had put in a lazy river. But it took up so much of what we call kind of the recreational play area that we thought it was really kind of a negative instead of a positive. Because we know that we have a lot of kids that come out, we have a lot of groups that come out, and we just felt like just having more play area was more beneficial than having the river.
Thank you.
Good questions. Any other questions?
Laney, when's the proposed completion date?
We have a very aggressive schedule. Matter of fact, what we're shooting for is to have the pool, the outdoor pool renovations completed by the opening of this season, which would be May 27th. We have talked to Councilman Hunsaker, who is our pool consultant. He says, yeah, that's very aggressive, but it is doable. And we asked him, we said, well, if we run into weather or those kind of things, what are we looking at? And he says, you may be looking at a 2 or 3 week delay. We were thinking it would be more than that. We said and talked about, would it be more beneficial to try to keep the pool running this year, go back and try to Band-Aid what we've got, and try to get it through this season and then start the construction, or would it be more beneficial to start the construction? After a lot of discussion, what we think is it's more beneficial to go ahead and start and try to get the construction in, even if we're no up front. We may be a couple of weeks, maybe even 3 weeks into the season. We know that if we try to reopen that pool, if we have a catastrophic failure, which we think we could have, we would lose the entire swim season. So we're in that situation. If we were not in that situation, my recommendation would be let's wait until, shorten the swim season, let's start in the fall. But I think we're just kind of at that situation with our pool. The other thing I want to mention is the indoor pool. What we're planning on doing as soon as the renovations of the outdoor pool is complete is within a week or two start the renovations of the indoor pool. And what we plan to do in that renovation, we think will take no more than 2.5 months, because all we're doing is we're coming in, we're using the original design, but we're recapping the deck, re-leveling the deck, repainting the pool, redoing the filtering system in there, putting in new equipment, lifeguard stands, those kind of things. We don't think that work will take that long. But our plan is that we will keep the outdoor pool open until the indoor pool is complete. And as soon as the indoor pool is complete, then we will be able to close the outdoor pool. One of the things that we've looked at with the outdoor pool, and it's just in discussion right now, but we're adding lights to that design, which will give us the ability to extend the hours to offer it to families in the evening. The other thing is we may be looking at running it a longer season, where we open on weekends or those kind of things. So we think it's going to give us some great options. We think it's going to really give the citizens of Murfreesboro a great aquatic facility, especially for, just all ages. The lap pool, seniors can be able to do that. The young kids will enjoy the spray parks and those kind of things. So we think it's a good move to move forward.
Chairman, when I first got on council, I had come back from Chattanooga and I called Mr. Rainier, and we had spent time down by the riverfront where they had a splash pad like this. And so, this has been a fairly long process, but at the same time, Smyrna has a facility like this, and we got him to looking at what we were going to have to do to fix the outdoor pools. And if I'm wrong, Mr. Gilman, we just looked real quickly and saw that, and Mr. Bratcher had a good analogy that, if it's going to cost more to fix your truck than what it's going to cost to buy another truck, we didn't have a choice but to make a change. And at the same time, we're less than what we've allocated on our capital outlay program, I believe, on this project. So we've come in under, we think, on what we're going to be. But I know when we looked at this 2 weeks ago, we felt like we were almost in between a rock and a hard place, that we could not take the risk of losing the entire swim season at the Sportscom and not get this project started. So I think it's something that we're extremely, it's a good thing and something to really be excited about, that'll give us maybe yet another feather in our hat that we can take to the next award ceremony. So.
Certainly adds a twist to the polar bear plunge.
That was my second question I had down. What are we going to do with the polar bear plunge?
Well, we're going to have it this year, and then next year we'll have people probably running into the zero depth area and some of those things. But we'll cross that bridge. But this year we will have the polar bear.
We still will be able to have it with all the work that's going to be.
Well, the construction, we talked about that in our construction meeting. Construction would not start until after that time, so we're good for the polar bear plunge this year.
Okay.
Good.
So, Mr. Bratcher, you're still on the hook.
It's time to get in training.
Good training.
Yes, you had to take cold showers for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, we've got opportunities, something that we may could look at. We've got other opportunities that maybe we could partner with other facilities in Murfreesboro.
Absolutely.
Like the YMCA that has a big pool, that we could do something maybe in conjunction with them.
And of course, don't forget we have the Stones River too. So.
Speaking of the polar bear plunge, I think Nate had mentioned to me just today that the schedule, you may want to come up, Nate, and if you have information, January the 2nd, people can start making their plans. I know everybody on this commission is going to jump, so they may want to know.
Hey, he's wrong a lot.
I jumped last year. Before you start, though, I just want to revisit that parking. You're about to spend $3 million, and if you believe the stats of 30 to 50% increase, I just don't see how we would be able to handle that. And if I have 6 kids and I'm having to haul them that long distance, that becomes quite an inconvenience. I mean, did you factor in the spaces? I mean, I don't know how the formulas are used, but my common sense says it doesn't make sense.
Okay, well noted.
Well, and that may be something, Mr. Ocker, that we can look and.
Well, if we have to, and I think you make a good point, and if we have to, we may look at doing some temporary parking. We can also put down some sort of gravel-based parking or some sort of temporary parking if we have to, if that becomes a blatant problem that we see happening immediately, then make plans as we get through that season to maybe extend that parking area out to a more permanent parking. We have those options as well.
And I think it brings up another issue also, that if we look at doing a parking lot improvement project, I don't know what's the last time that we've paved Sportscom.
It needs it.
But that we don't have lights in the parking lot there, do we?
We do, but they're in well need of upgrading.
Well, what I'm thinking that if we determine that we need to upgrade the parking lot, that we can do that in part of a master project, that we can add some lighting and do some entire issues, which I would think would be less expensive than, do a whole master project instead of one piece, but that's a good idea.
Mr. Roediger, on a positive note, I hope you're right. I hope we do have to add some parking. I hope it's that popular.
When we did an evaluation of one of the meetings Lanny and Mr. Lyons and myself had, along with Lyle Lynch, we looked at the parking situation very long, and we decided if you go to Sportscom in the busiest hours during the day in the outdoor pool, it's not typically full the way it is now. And if you look at that parking lot and compare it to the front parking lot, there's plenty of parking spots available. And that's why we decided it's a good idea to get through this first season, see exactly what we need as far as parking-wise. But I think we're in decent shape, and we'll evaluate it. Hopefully we will have to add more parking in the future for all the people that come. But we will have the Polar Bear Plunge. It will be January 2nd. If I remember right, we're not going to break ground on this until January 11th will be the first day that we start construction on this pool if everything goes according to plan. I've been working with Mr. Lynch a lot, with Johnson Bailey. Everything's looking good. They're working diligently to try to push this process along. And I'm very optimistic. I know we as a department are very optimistic that this aggressive schedule can be met.
Now, January the 2nd, what time?
Okay, yeah. I don't usually do this till later in the year. We'll go ahead and do it. It's January 2nd. We'll have our Arctic Adventure from 8:30 to 10. We'll have the plunge at 10 o'clock. So we're expecting another huge crowd. Last year we did over 600 people. So just remind everybody there's no cost involved unless you want to buy a T-shirt and bring canned goods that benefit the Murfreesboro City School Family Resource Center. So it's going to be a good year.
Plus, we'll do our traditional adding about a ton of ice to the pool before you jump, so making sure the water's good and cold.
Perfect.
The only event that might suffer from this renovation is the puppy plunge. We might have to reevaluate what we have and look at that next year. But the Polar Bear Plunge is on.
Now, you might want to mention how many puppies did you have out?
We had over 200 puppies. And that's like I told Mr. Miller before, there's about 5 dogs in the water and then about 195 dogs running around on the deck. But it was a good event. A lot of people come out. It's really a family fun time just to see their dogs in the water. A lot of people really enjoy that. But it is a sight to see if you've never seen it. There's a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
All right, Nate, thanks. Lanny, thanks for the update. That's an exciting project. I think it'll be really, really nice addition.
Mr. Chair, if I could just get the council's endorsement on that project, it would be good.
You make a motion to that project?
Why? I mean, the city council's already approved
I know,
it,
but
right?
I just,
We just want your support.
yes.
Makes us feel better.
Mr. Chairman, I move we endorse this project.
Thank you, Ed.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consider it endorsed.
Thank you, sir.
Feel better, Chris?
You've been blessed.
Good. Last but certainly not least, Lanny's going to announce the grand opening date and time for our new tennis complex at Old Fort.
Yes, sir. We had a tri-party agreement between the county schools, the county government, and the city of Murfreesboro to build 16 new tennis courts. We will have the grand opening of those 16 tennis courts next Tuesday, November the 10th at 4 p.m. We invite the commission to come out for that opening and invite the public. We will have a short ceremony followed by ribbon cutting, and then we will keep the courts open until approximately 6 o'clock for people to play and enjoy the new court. So November the 10th, 4 o'clock, next Tuesday, grand opening of the new tennis courts.
If you can't make the grand opening and haven't had a chance to go by there, it's really, really looks nice. I encourage you. It's a nice project. Is there any other business to come before the commission?
Mr. Chairman, one other just announcement. The city of Murfreesboro has been able to obtain a little over 6,000 trees through the Urban Environmental Department. And we're planning a replanting day on our greenway for November the 20th and November the 21st. The times will be on November the 20th from 9 until noon, and on November the 21st from 9 until noon, and then 1 to 4. We ask participants that want to come and contribute back to the community, and we've had many folks after the Good Friday tornado ask what they could do to give back to the community. This would be one way that they could do that, come out and help us plant trees back on the quarter of a mile of the greenway that was devastated by the tornado. We ask them to bring their shovels and their garden trowels and their gloves, and to wear long pants and sturdy shoes, and snacks and drinks will be provided. Anybody that is 10 or over can participate, but anybody 10 to 17, we will need a permission slip signed by the parents. Children will need to be supervised by an adult, and all the volunteers will meet on Thompson Lane in the Thompson Lane Trailhead, and we will start, if we do have rain, the rain date will be December the 4th, and basically the same time. So on November the 20th, mark your calendar, November the 20th and November the 21st, that will be our replanting day for the greenway section that was devastated by the tornado. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Any other business?
Move we adjourn.
Second. All in favor? We stand adjourned.
Yes, sir.